Welcome, everybody, to the City of Farmers Branch study session for Tuesday, June 3rd. Our first order of business will be public comments on study session items. I don't have anybody signed up to speak. Is anybody here wishing to speak? Seeing none, we will move on. First order of business will be item C1, which is review and discuss consent and regular agenda items. Councilman Roman?
Let's see. So I do have a question about J4.
Hello, Kevin Reinhardt, Fleet Operations Manager.
For these police vehicles that we're purchasing, I noticed that there's going to be an unbudgeted expense. And so I looked through the material that was prepared and it suggested that there was going to be some expected reimbursement from TMLIRP.
Yes.
Do we have an idea of what that's going to look like for the reimbursement and the timing around that?
Yeah, so each one's going to be north of 30,000 from TML, depending on the upfit, if we can get a supplement for the upfit and strip of the old units. But right now we've got a check for 32,000 on one and then like 31,000 on the other one.
Okay. And that's all the reimbursement that we'll be receiving from that group.
Correct.
Okay, cool. That's it for that one. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Councilman Bennett? Councilman Reed?
Nothing for me.
Councilwoman?
Nothing, thank you.
Councilman Neal?
I just have a quick question about J5. It's possible that I missed it somewhere in literature. I'm just curious as to what our matching cost amount is to this.
So on this one, we're just starting the application process and we don't have a definitive OPCC yet as we're trying to iron out the details. So all we know right now is the design. We're looking towards the $800,000 mark if it gets accepted is where we're going to end up being as far as our matching grants go.
So our matching costs could be up to $800,000.
$800,000 if it gets accepted.
Okay, that's the only question I have. Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome.
And then I have another question. I was just trying to find my place. So I also have a question about J5. Can you tell me how we determined that this was the project that we should prioritize grant fund application for?
So when we get the call from TxDOT, we had a 2015 master plan back for this trail, and it's a project that seems to check all the boxes for what they require for in order to get approved funding for this. And so the town of Addison is also supporting this project since it's going to connect into their trails as well and connect further on to the DART. So the odds increase more when we have those type of connectivities to other cities and municipalities and or modal transportation. So this one has a higher chance of getting approved.
So am I to assume that none of the other projects that, because this was in 2015, we're looking back at 10 years ago.
Right.
And, times change from 10 years ago to today. And in terms of development, in terms of where people end up, in terms of business activity, all of those things. So it sounds like, are you saying that given the conditions that existed in 2015, that the conditions are the same or substantially similar to what they were?
They are, especially for the area where it's high density. So it's a lot more people using the trail there. We already do have some other trail projects in line for the west side. We have the West Side Trail that's underway or in the queue to receive funding. We have the Denton Drive project that's going to receive funding. So we try to make sure that we look at the whole city in general and make sure that we get some for each area of the city. And so this one being on the far east end made sense to kind of apply for it. It was a project candidate that fit the criteria laid out by TxDOT, and we've been working with the consultants and just laying out there, also utilizing the Encore transmission lines that are out there as well. So it kind of it has a better chance of getting the funding than some of the other ones. But
So,
yes,
so none of the other ones had, they didn't check the box off in the same way, or were there others that were kind of neck and neck and similar that you were considering?
no, this one here being typically we try to leverage the one that's the most costly one. This one has a bunch of design criteria or design conflicts that we're going to have there with crossing the streets, getting underneath power poles. So it has a lot of costs that we wouldn't want to put on there, but since it's going to be grant funded, it's an opportunity to leverage that and not have to worry about some of those fundings that are not going to be allocated for the trail itself, mainly some of the conflicts that we'll have to overcome.
And you mentioned Addison is supportive of it. Does that mean that they're financially supporting it as well, or they're just saying, yeah, this would be a great project?
So typically, whenever you apply for a grant, they always ask for stakeholders, endorsing the project basically. And since we're going to go right there and line up with them, TxDOT agencies like TxDOT look for those opportunities to partner with other surrounding cities. And so we approached the town of Addison, told them, hey, look, we're going to be doing this project. Is this something you're willing to write a letter saying you're in support of? And so we walked the trail with them as well and showed them what it would look like. And so they thought it would be a good project to connect both trails from their existing trails to our trails if it does get approved.
Okay. Now I looked at where this potential trail would go, and it seems to be parallel with Dallas North Tollway.
Correct.
If I'm remembering correctly, there's not much out there. There was a Sears that closed at the end of that trail. There's kind of there's people asking for money on the court that same corner, and then along that way there's maybe some multifamily, but they predominantly face the highway, not necessarily the other I think Inwood, that street. So I would be more excited about this if it were something that was more close to the main part of Farmers Branch, where our homeowning residents who that are invested in who live here, and are expected to probably live here for a long period of time. I would be more supportive of something like that. I'm not too excited about this, but that's just my opinion. I think those are all the questions I had, but I wanted to also then ask for J5 to be pulled off of consent. Thank you.
Okay.
I'm sorry, pull J5? Okay. No. Would that count as a table? Or just the pull?
Is he pulling it from the agenda or is he pulling it?
Do you want,
No, go ahead.
would you like J5 to be moved to regular agenda or tabled completely?
I just wanted to be, I don't want to hold up the process, so I just wanted to be moved off of consent into a regular agenda
Regular.
item, and then we can decide. And I just was going to share, I really wish that the process might be more involved with the council, rather than selecting a project and that our staff feels is appropriate and
That's
off of their standards. And so that's part of the reason why I'm pulling it off. I don't necessarily agree with the manner in which it was handled,
That's
or
fine.
with the project itself. And so I'm just wanting to be
yeah,
transparent with
that's
my fellow
no,
colleagues.
that's fine. I just want to know where to put it.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I just
we will move. We
I
will
just wanted
move
to make
it
sure that
to
my fellow colleagues
L4.
knew where my thoughts were on that. And that
So
was it.
we will. We're not tabling it. We will move J5 to regular agenda item L4 for more discussion. Is that good? Okay. Anything else? Yes, sir.
Just wanted to provide clarification on J4. For the folks watching at home, that this is for the replacement of 2 police vehicles that were totaled as a result of accidents. That's correct?
That's correct.
Yes. That was someone else's fault.
Correct.
Okay. Just so folks know that we're just not arbitrarily buying two new cruisers. It's due to the replacement of damages done by someone else.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Anything else on that? Okay. Next up is item C2, discuss and review the Dallas County Replacement Housing Program.
Mayor, Council, Jose Garbe, Special Projects Manager, talking to you today about the Dallas County Housing Program, along with our friends from Builders of Hope to help answer any questions. The replacement housing program will enable the city to utilize county funds to build a new home on previously purchased lot and swap it with a qualifying resident's existing home. Once the swap has occurred, the newly acquired lot can then be assigned for other functions by the city. The replacement housing program has a few requirements, but the highlights are that the applicant's income must be 80% or below the area median income, and they must have a fully paid off mortgage. The home must be either dilapidated or functionally obsolete, and they must have lived in their home for at least 5 years. Typically, this refers to a resident who has been here in Farmers Branch for some time, has established roots here in the community. How did we get here? So again, on April 2nd, 2024, Dallas County presented to the council. At that time, council approved proceeding with 10 lots and 2.5 million requests for this program. On July 16th, 2024, the council approved an interlocal agreement with Dallas County. Since then, the city, along with Builders of Hope, have been working to spread the word. We currently have 4 applications on hand that have been submitted to the county and approved. We are working through the others to get them through the process, but that brings us to our first ask of today. We want to partner with you all to help find additional candidates for this program, specifically in districts 1, 2, and 4, in order to ensure the success of this program. Please work with the city manager to pass along any names or information of folks who may be interested. We can follow up with them to see if they meet the requirements. Our goal is to add 5 additional names to the current list. We've already met one earlier today. So again, thank you so much for the help. Projected milestones. Today we're here in Q3 of 2025, providing council with a status update and keeping you informed on our current progress. Council needs to make a decision on which lots we will assign to this program, along with the builder who will be responsible for them. We can then proceed with the permitting process and construction, aiming to complete the construction by Q3 of 2026, so that for the remainder of the grant period, which ends on September 30th, we're only worrying about moving folks back in and working through press releases. This would give us approximately a year from today to complete the construction and allow us to finish early. We've spoken to Builders of Hope about this, and they're aware of this goal. Now we understand that the Q3 deadline is aggressive, but council, there has been a lot of rain this year. Rain slows down construction projects. We could get inclement weather, a lot of building in that November, January timeframe, or face supply chain issues which are out of our control. So we want to give ourselves a cushion for any of those potential issues and just really avoid being backed into a corner. On the slide, you'll see the 22 slots owned by the city, along with 10 lots identified by staff. The 10 lots that were identified by staff are here in red. We chose these 10 lots because the lots are all relatively similar in size, ranging from approximately 7,400 square feet to 7,600 square feet. They're among our smaller lots, making them the most cost-efficient option for the free program for residents. We distributed the selected lots across our available inventory. And again, Builders of Hope evaluated the lots, and one of their lessons learned was to look for water and sewage connections due to the additional cost that this adds to the project. So we removed any that did not include those. Lastly, again, we have our two decisions that we need to make today. Decision 1, approval to move forward with the 10 identified lots to be used for this program. Decision 2, agree to move forward with Builders of Hope as the builder. And then again, our next steps is we'll have agreement and with a accompanying resolution ready for you at council next time here, the 17th. Any discussions or directions? And I'll ask.
Good afternoon, Council. It's a pleasure to see all of you again. Christopher Lewis, Builders of Hope. Our address is 603 Margaret Avenue, Dallas, Texas, 75202. And I'm happy to stand next to Jose to answer any questions or provide any clarifications.
Thank you very much. Councilman Roman?
So I just want to make sure that I'm clear on the requirements here. Happy to help and support this and try and get more applicants for this program. We just talked to one in the hallway while I was walking into City Hall, actually. But let me make sure I understand this. The house has to be paid off in full. Okay.
That's correct.
I want to make sure that in any material that we are distributing, that is something that is on the list of requirements. When I read through the memo, it wasn't on there. It just said that there can't be any liens or judgments against the property, but it didn't say that the house needed to be paid off. So I just want to make sure that that's clear. So let's imagine a situation where there's a home that we are reconstructing, because my understanding is we have two options. One where if somebody doesn't want to have to find a temporary place to live, they can live in their home and then they can just move to one of the homes in the other lots. And then the second option is if they do have somewhere to go, and they want to stay in their property, then they'll move out. You'll do your thing and build the house, and then once it's done, they'll move back in. Okay. In that second scenario where there's a desire to stay in that lot, and you're going to be rebuilding it, and they're going to be moving out for a temporary period. If that house was, for example, 1,000 square feet, does that mean you're only building to that 1,000 square feet, or are you building to the 1,300 max?
Yes, so we're going to be meeting the specifications that's in the Exhibit E that the Dallas County has. So it has to be a minimum of 1,300 square feet.
Okay.
So the house would be larger, actually.
Okay. And then in the opposite scenario where it's too big, you would build only to 1,300 square feet.
Yeah, correct. When available, we do have some drawings and plans to show you, which will be standard. We will do actually an upgrade because one example, there will be a garage included with the drawings, and the houses will be significantly larger because we know in the area on average the houses are around 1,000 square feet or so. So this will be a greatly upgrade to their existing structure.
Okay. And this is maybe for some other time, if you can get this to me, Jose, but when in the memo, it doesn't specifically discern which properties are those that we own and which properties are those where someone already lives there and they want to continue to live there and want to opt for that option of the program.
We can work to send over a list of the current applicants who want to stay in their home.
Okay. So let's see. So as we talked today with the resident about this program, and she lives on Springvale, there's two properties that are available on Springvale, one at the corner and one 10 or 15 houses down the road. When I look at the memo, one of those houses is the one that's been selected for use in this program. The other one is not. Let's say that this resident comes back and says, I don't have anywhere for me, or I don't have anywhere for me to go for a temporary period of time during construction. And the lot that they would like to go to is not one of the lots that we've authorized in the 10 here. what flexibility, if any, exists for that resident to opt for one of those other lots that are not like one of the 10 that we select today?
We can work to get back to you. I know that's we're looking into what flexibilities we can add to the resolution, but that's something that we can work with the city manager to get back to you on.
Okay. I just want to make sure that we maintain that flexibility. When you go back one slide, please. Okay. So in terms of moving forward with the 10 identified lots, I'm happy to move forward with those 10 lots as long as we have that flexibility made, because I don't want to lose somebody if they say, well, I really don't want that lot. I want this lot. And if I can't get that lot, then I'm out of the program, because my understanding right now is we really need more participants in this program. So I really want to do what we can to be flexible there. And then in terms of decision two, absolutely, Builders of Hope. You guys are great partners, and we've been working with you already for a few years now. So would love to continue that relationship. That's it for me.
Thank you, Councilwoman Bennett.
Okay, so the 10 lots, and we have 4 people that want to stay. Let's assume we have 10 people. 5 of them want to stay on their lot. What happens to the other 5 that we've given to you guys for this program? Where do they go? Do they come back to us? Do they go to Builders of Hope? Where do they go?
Yeah, for any applicant that's going to give up their pre-existing home, those existing lots will be matriculated back into the ownership of Farmers Branch.
Okay, thank you.
Councilman Reed,
I have nothing.
Councilwoman Villafranca.
Great job. Thank you so much.
Okay. All righty. So we need to have a general consensus regarding decisions that need to be made with number 1 here, which is to move forward the 10 lots that have been identified to use for the program. Good. 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 Okay, so we can do that and agree to move forward Builders of Hope. I'm seeing nods. Yes. Very good. You have what you need?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Council.
Thank you.
Thank you, Council Mayor.
You bet. Next up is item C3, receive an update from the mayor and council members regarding board liaison information from outside organizations and other meetings attended. Councilman Roman,
I'm good.
Councilwoman Bennett,
Nothing.
Councilman Reed.
Just the annual police awards ceremony that was held last Friday. Fantastic event, incredible turnout. It was great to see and celebrate and recognize the officers that have done such a great job protecting the community.
Councilwoman Villafranca.
Thank you. Yes, on May 21st, I attended the chamber luncheon as the new liaison. May 22nd, attended the Mentricrest Chamber Class 34 graduation, where I saw you, Mayor. On May 27th, I had an opportunity to visit the corporate offices of Trader Joe's in Monrovia, California, and I was able to make contact and spoke with some of the people there. So we'll see what happens. May 29th, toured Envision. Thank you so much for putting that together. You did a really, really great job. On May 29th, attended the police retirement ceremony. Town Hall on May 29th. And once again, you did a great job, Mayor. May 30th, attended a Branch Vision meet and greet for the newly elected and re-elected council people. June 2nd, yesterday, we attended the Branch Connection breakfast over at the new facility, and they did a really, really nice job. And last night, I had the opportunity to attend the Citizen Police Academy Alumni Association meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Neal.
Nothing. Thank you.
All right. I also attended the police awards. Kudos to Chief McCoy and his staff for putting on a really good event. We will work on the sound system, but everybody had fun. So always nice to spend time with our officers there. Last Thursday, I did put on a tour of the Envision Dallas facility, which is located in Farmers Branch. Envision, for those who don't know, uh, used to be known as Dallas Lighthouse for the Blind. They moved to Farmers Branch, changed their name. They're part of Envision, which is based out of Wichita, Kansas, and they provide employment and services for blind and visually impaired individuals. This is a tremendous organization doing really good things to help folks that are in need. If you have not been there, I would certainly suggest that you go and take a tour. Feel free to contact me or any council member, and we can certainly make that happen. I did attend a community meeting down at the Federal Correctional Institution in Seagoville. We are connected to that facility, and I've mentioned this before. Unicor, which operates some employment opportunities at the prison, actually does contract work for Envision. They're sewing together military uniforms, and those military uniforms are started down there and then shipped up here to the Envision facility in Farmers Branch and finished off. And so that we have a tie to the federal prison down in Seagoville. I did want to say congratulations to all those that were graduates of the MetroCrest Leadership or Leadership MetroCrest graduating class. I know they put in a lot of hard work to go through that program, and hopefully they gained a lot of benefit from it. We did have an economic development dinner that took place, and the emphasis was targeting healthcare workers. And so there were a number of clients there in the healthcare field, including Dallas Medical Center and some others that service our community. Monday morning, I attended a meeting with 4 other city mayors to discuss DART and where we think things are heading based on legislation or based on the actions of the legislature and other meetings that folks have had with DART representatives. And so we'll be hearing more about that in the coming days. In fact, we'll probably have an executive session to discuss DART. And then last night, I was at the Citizens Police Academy Alumni Association meeting with Councilwoman Villafranca, and that group is getting organized and looks forward to serving the needs of our police department. And so I'm excited about some of the things they have coming up. Next up, item C4, review and discuss future agenda items. Councilman Roman,
I'm good.
Councilwoman Bennett.
I've asked Ben if we can have a presentation to the city council during one of the study sessions, specifically on blockchain technology.
Councilman Reed.
Yeah, I'd like to have a presentation in regards to the status of Mercer Park and timeline for completion.
Councilwoman Villafranca.
Yes, thank you. I've asked Ben to add an agenda item to discuss the liaison for the Sister City program and the possibility of expanding that program. Thank you.
Councilman Neal.
Yes, Mayor, I'd like to request an executive session item to discuss the disposition options for the city-owned property located at 13309 Josie Lane.
Very good. Thank you for that. I have 2 things. One, and I'm going to ask Ben, because I can't remember, have we we agreed that we were going to have a bond committee task force. Yes?
It technically needs to be requested as
Okay.
part of the budget
I'd
process.
like
but
to request that we move forward with establishing a bond review committee.
And just to clarify for the council and for my staff and for the residents, this would be for the FY27 budget, not for the current budget. It takes about
Correct.
12 months to, okay,
Correct.
just to clarify.
And then at the town hall meeting that I had last week, one of the main topics of discussion was boats, campers, RVs, and trailers. So as allowed by ordinance, I'm going to put together a task force to address that. If any of the council members have a specific individual they'd like to be considered for that, then please let me know. That's it for study session items. I'm going to read us into executive session. Item D1, City Council will convene into closed executive session pursuant to Texas Government Code Section 551.089 regarding security assessments and implementation for information resources technology and security personnel. And item D2, City Council will convene in closed executive session pursuant to Texas Government Code Section 551.087 to discuss economic incentives for Farmers Branch Project 2025.009B. So we will move to executive session. We will be back out here at 6 o'clock.